Trump says voting by mail is inherently corrupt, and he just voted by mail. That's really the story. And of course, there's more to it in the sense that this really affects our elections. It affects other people. There's other people in the world other than Trump. We looked at Palm Beach County records, and they show Trump requested a ballot to vote by mail in late July. He returned it on August 13th. This is for Florida's Republican primary. This is at least the third time Trump has voted by mail since registering in Florida. That includes a special election earlier this year. Now, why should any of us care? Why should any of us be surprised? Well, we should care because time and time and time again, Trump has publicly said voting by mail is inherently corrupt. It's fraud. It should be stopped. He has condemned it, but he does it. So you've got this activity. It's supposedly disgraceful. It might even be criminal when other people do it, but Trump does it. And there's always an exception. There's always an excuse. There's some very elaborate explanation for why Trump is different. The rules shouldn't apply to him. Now, for right wingers, it's a very simple explanation. The rules matter for them. The rules don't matter for us. It's that simple. Trump has spent years saying to his supporters, oh, we got to do something about voting by mail. It's very dangerous. It's untrustworthy. It subjects our elections to fraud. And he lies, of course, about having won the 2020 election. But part of that story that he tells is about mailed ballots, which he demonizes and attacks. Now, in July, Trump went full on it, where he said it is inherently corrupt. The concept of filling out a ballot and sending it through the mail, it's inherently corrupt. And his administration is now going to the Supreme Court and saying, please, let us restrict mail-in voting even more. And they want it in place now. They want it in place before the midterms. But then it's Trump's turn to vote. And the supposedly corrupt method is perfectly fine. And the White House says, well, Trump qualifies for an exception. He lives in Palm Beach, but he's mostly at the White House in D.C. And so this entire thing is a fake news story. It's a non-story that Trump has spent years waging a war against mail-in voting and now habitually votes by mail because Trump is okay with the exceptions. If you are traveling, come on. You think if you're going to be at Disney on the day of the election, Trump's okay with that? But no, Trump supports exceptions for travel, for military service, for illness, and for disability. But of course, we know that when people who are going to vote for Democrats say, well, I have a travel justification, I have a military illness or disability justification, they will go, oh, these people are lying about these justifications. Now, legally, Trump has done nothing wrong. And most of the people voting by mail and most of the people voting have also never done anything wrong. Florida allows every registered voter to get a mail-in ballot. That's it. There is no evidence that Trump's ballot was fraudulent or improper based on Florida law. But that's exactly the point. Mail-in voting is not inherently fraudulent, no matter who's using it. If it's other people, if it's Democrats, if it's Republicans, if it's Trump, voting by mail is not inherently fraudulent. Millions of Americans use it. And Trump is taking advantage of a system that is totally legal, totally secure, and convenient while he tries to make that system much harder for other people to use. And frankly, if you are going to spend years rallying against mail-in voting and you're going to call it inherently corrupt and use it to undermine public confidence and all that, have some conviction, right? Like, get off your ass and go vote in person. I wouldn't be convinced that mail-in voting is fraudulent if Trump got off of whatever is in his pants, by the way. We don't even know what it is. If Trump got up and went to vote in person, that wouldn't convince me that mail-in voting is fraudulent, but it would at least show me that Trump is committed to no mail-in voting. But that's too much to ask. I saw a MAGA defender argue, listen, Trump is so busy. He's special. It took me, I got a head injury. I collapsed under the absurdity of that explanation. You have people all over the country who genuinely are busy working and schlepping their kids and getting groceries. Trump doesn't have to do any of that stuff. Oh, but he's the president. He's reportedly only even scheduled for 5 hours a day on weekdays. And a bunch of that time isn't even really work, but he's too busy. But you've got, people working 50 hours a week, parents juggling multiple jobs, caregivers, people without reliable transportation, all sorts of Americans, millions, maybe tens of millions, who they have to find the time. Trump's too busy, though, so he gets a special convenient exception. Give me a break. So the scandal isn't Trump voted by mail. The whole scandal is voting by mail is legal and normal, and it's fine. Trump knows that, uses it, but then tells tens of millions of Americans that that's a fraudulent system if he suspects the results won't benefit him or his party or didn't benefit him or his party. It is terminal hypocrisy, terminal hypocrisy. And this is why in my first book, The Echo Machine, which I'm holding here, this is a very special copy. I argue in this book, don't waste your time with these black hole debates about the philosophy of these right-wingers' positions. I think it's very interesting to have conversations about our first principles, our founding philosophy. How have we come to believe what we believe? That's perfectly fine as a matter of individual choice at the Thanksgiving table or whatever, sitting in an airport shuttle, wherever. But as a matter of figuring out with people from the other political side what the best policies should be, it is not worth engaging in these philosophical debates because they will argue. This is the most important thing. And then as soon as it's inconvenient, they abandon it completely. We are for not regulating businesses and freedom. And but we want to force Twitter to publish our COVID disinformation. Now we're fine with having the government tell Twitter it must publish my anti-vax screeds. Give me a break. So my advice, focus on policy and do it with people who are actually willing to have the conversations in a serious way. Debating the philosophy of how people came to be, they're going to just abandon it as soon as it's inconvenient. So simply do not waste your time. Thanks for watching. Check out another one of our videos and make sure to subscribe so YouTube keeps our content in your feed. And if you prefer audio, subscribe to the podcast on Spotify or Apple.